This is Jeremy. Welcome to the Hustler's Guide for today. Today is Thursday, and we're going to discuss today the central question. Why does an athlete like LeBron James make so much, but someone like a teacher who helps the community, helps literacy, and so forth, they make comparatively less? Here in Ontario, teachers make about $100,000. I'm talking generally about American paid teachers who make somewhere around $35,000 to $40,000 per year US. That is a lot less comparably to Mr. James. So this is a central point, a way of logic. A teacher works one-on-one with young people, can teach them to grow as a personality, teach them how to learn, teach them how to stand up for themselves. But the athlete, all they do is they throw a ball around and people watch them and drink beer and so forth. I'll tell you why. To become an athlete, you have to be the absolute best. You cannot be, the top, 20%. You have to be the top, less than 1%. So LeBron James, from where he was growing up, had to be the best. He could not lose. In the sports, if you lose, you do no longer get contracts. However, when you're a teacher or a social worker, the like, your need is not by your ability, but the community's need. It's a very socialistic way of looking at life. However, it's a very dangerous, as I'll go through later, to discuss why it's dangerous to put your whole lifestyle dependent on a government policy. One day a liberal policy, you have a job. Next day, it's a conservative government cutting his foot and your liability. When you're an athlete, what you do is you make lots of money, but you don't just go and make that much. You make promotions, so you make jobs. People go to the court, that's jobs for security guards, jobs for bartenders. There's jobs for advertising executives. When you're an athlete, LeBron James may be worth $200 million. I'm just giving a figure. But there's no doubt his existence on this earth, is worth at least $2 billion, if not more. We're dealing with someone who's driving an economy. With sports, you have sports gear, you have sports drinks, you have sports culture, and that supports the bars. The better LeBron does, the better the Cleveland entertainment business does. The social worker has no real metric for success. It's not like there's a better social program situation. It's not like they reduce poverty. In fact, the bigger the problem, the more secure the need. When you have people who are dependent on there being problem, they have no reason to solve it. If there's a problem with homelessness and it creates 10 jobs, if you work for them, would you want to lose your job? Of course not. You want 20 at least homeless people. That is why I have some ethical issues with people who depend on government policies for their income. It's not only disastrous, but it's also very hypocritical, because on one hand, you slam business, but on the other hand, you wait on tax dollars. There is a chasm between the tax makers, the tax generators, and those who are using the tax dollars, like the teachers, social workers, and so forth. They may be entitled to the $100,000 in their minds, and the businessman may be worth nothing. However, their income is contingent on the taxpayer, the businessman, actually paying his taxes. Another issue I want to bring up, it may not be a choice. There's no doubt that someone like me, I'm a chubby Jewish guy, I'm not going to be playing basketball anytime soon. LeBron James most likely came from a very athletic family, and that gave him the advantage. The teacher does not need any extreme skills, or the social worker. In fact, social workers, teachers, and so forth have the lowest admission standards of any field. So it's really hard to see someone who got 55 in their Bachelor of Social Worker or community college is worth so much holding it on a pedestal, because the requirements to actually go into such a course are 55%. And the courses are not tangible. There's no right and wrong. You can do a thesis. I've taken sociology on, let's say, the nature of, let's say, gender relations in Zimbabwe. You could have the exact same views as a teacher. You are now looking at 100%. However, if you're very well versed and you decide that the teacher's views are wrong, you get 0. Their mark is not a tangible standard of whether you're good or bad. It's only a standard of whether they like you or not. With basketball, either the ball goes in the net or it doesn't. It goes in the net, you get paid. It does not, you get nothing. If the social workers had the same standards as the teachers, they said if you fail a student or the kid can't read, let's say you're a teacher, you have 30 students, 20 can't read. It's not that they're going to lower your salary. They're just going to say, perhaps we need more teachers. The problem is not competency. The problem is resources. And when you have a life that is parasitical in nature, you don't care whether taxes are high because that's how you get paid. As I said before, it's a very unstable life depending on the government. One day it's right, one day it's left, the next day you're out of the job. Where do we get from this? Well, because if you want to go and make money, you have to make sure that your income is not compromised by a political climate. If you want to make money, either design something or sell it. It's 2 options. You can also do maintenance work and so forth, but that's very, very difficult because automation is on the rise. With increased automation, it separates the world into 2 groups. Those who are extremely high IQ and extremely low IQ. Those who are IQ can kind of benefit from capitalism, outsource to China and so forth. However, if you're low IQ, you can no longer work at McDonald's because McDonald's doesn't need you. It has a machine. So what you want to do is make sure that you're indispensable. What you want to do is brand yourself. Make sure that you are the reason people show up. Make sure people's jobs depend on you showing up. The second you go away, if you get fired or you lose the contract, they will lose their benefit. Another essential point, if you meet someone and their profession, their vocation is a job which requires social assistance, by that I mean government pays their jobs. It doesn't matter if they're paid directly or they're paid through a third-party contractor. If you meet someone and their life's dream is to take money from the government, it usually means they're not a very ethical person. If they are doing a job like a taxi driver or this in the meantime, it's not a career, it's a job. We all do jobs. I've done club bouncing, I have done Uber driving, but my heart's in sales. That's where I am, that's my niche. However, if I meet someone and they are trying to get government, let's say, grants for a new idea, my first question is, why don't you just go to the public? Say your idea is going to make money, see how much they invest. And you know what they'll say? They'll say, if I do that, no one will pay. If no one will pay, it's not worth it. So anyways, that's enough for tonight. I want to thank you so much for watching tonight's video of The Hustler's Guide. I wish you all the best. Good night and Laila Tov.